Welcome everyone. My name is Nicole and this is your hour-long class this week that I promised. So I hope that you enjoy, and it's just a longer version of those shorter classes, a little more traditional, like if you would go to a studio and practice there. So warm up, the middle class, cool down, shavasana, final resting pose. If all that sounds fabulous to you, we're going to take our time warming up today since we have time. And we're going to do that by starting laying down. So let's go ahead and come down onto your back. And we'll start in Shavasana. And that's with the feet are slightly turning out here. And then as your palms face up, lightly roll each shoulder under. Feel comfortable, and maybe laying flat isn't for you. You want to knock your knees in. However, get comfy and just take a moment to arrive. Go lay down somewhere else, please. Move. Move. No, that's not going to work either. Move somewhere else. Thank you, good boy. You can start by breathing deeply in through the nose. On the inhale, maybe rest your hands on your belly now. Feel your belly expand on the inhale and fall on the exhale. And now rising. Exhale, falling. Just focus on your breath for several rounds here. Breathing deeply in and out. Coming back to the breath when you find that your mind starts to wander. And I like to set an intention for the class. It's a good time. And just a word, positive affirmation. Just anything you'd like to see more of in your life. And then we're going to cactus the arms. Draw the knees up. Feet as wide as the mat. And just begin by tick-tocking the knees off one way on the exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale off the other way. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then we're going to inhale knees through center. Draw them into your chest. Hold your knees with your hands. Exhale. press your knees away, straighten your arms. Press your back and head into the earth. Inhale, draw the knees in. Exhale, press away. 7 more rounds. And then when you're ready, drop the feet down. Roll to your right side. Use your hands. Press yourself to a seated position and find a block or bolster to sit up on if you find that that provides relief to your hips or knees, or you just like it better. And then from here, from your seat, notice the base of your spine. And then inhale. Let's grow through the vertebrae, through the spine. Lightly roll those shoulders. Just pick them up and roll them back. Place the palms down, face up. Just breathe here for a few breaths. Breathing in through the nose and out. Let your right ear fall to your right shoulder. A little stretch for the neck here. Breathe into the sensations. And then inhale through center. And left ear to left shoulder. Just letting gravity do the work here. And then back through center. Inhale your fingers overhead. Exhale, twist to the right. Look over your right shoulder, core engaged. Inhaling up. Exhaling, twist to the left, looking over your left shoulder. And then moving through several rounds of these twists. With the inhale through center and the exhale twist. And then inhale back through center. And then let your hands come down. Switch the cross on your legs. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Bring those fingertips out in front of you. And then cup the fingers and press your bum back into the floor as you come forward. You might want to lift off, So really press that bum back into the floor. And then if you feel, you can drop the head and breathe. And then we're going to inhale, walk, stay low, and walk your fingertips off to the right. And we feel a little stretch now along the side body. And staying low, walk the fingers through center and then off the other way. Stretching out that other side. And then go ahead and come back to a seated position. Beautiful. Now let's go ahead and move around and come on to all fours. From our table or all fours position, wrists under shoulders, fingers really spreading bright and active. Toes curled under for right now. Knees under hips. And we can go ahead and move through a few cat-cow here. So we start in this neutral spinal position and then tilt your tailbone to the sky. Press down strongly through your hands to lift up. Hands down and away, broaden across your heart. Breathe in your cow. And then for cat, arms stay pressing down strongly. Now we're gonna focus on our belly button. Pull in through the core and then start to round behind the back of the heart and drop the head. Exaggerating that arch behind the heart as much as you can. And then let's go ahead and move between the two with your own breath and just try to move with your breath in a smooth fashion. So if you have a shorter breath, your cat-cows are going to be a little bit faster. Really think about your own breath and how you can bring it to this movement. And then turn those fingertips to face your knees. And this may be plenty of a stretch for you, or maybe you want to do one at a time. Or maybe you start to lean, sit your hips back towards your heels and get a little wrist stretch here. Keep the fingertips active and pressing into the mat. Keep breathing. And then shift back forward if you've come back some, and then maybe roll the wrist out. And you're going to place the back of the hand now down. That wrist is pretty much directly under the shoulder. Fingernails flicking now into the earth. Maybe you want to do one at a time. Maybe you want to add the other hand. Try to focus on getting your whole back of your hand and back of your fingers, nails to press strongly and evenly into the mat. If you're just doing one, switch and do the other one now. And to come out, we're gonna roll, make a fist, pressing down, and sit back on those toes now. Your hands out to a cactus. Left hand threads under, and maybe the palms press together. then from here, inhale, little arch behind the heart. Look up. Exhale, like in cat, pull back into your core, around behind the heart. Inhale, lift up. Let's do another time. Inhale, lift the elbows, arch back slightly, look up. Exhale, core engaged, around behind the heart. Fold over. Inhaling, coming up. And then open the hands back out to cactus. Right arm's gonna thread under now and wrap around the palms together. If your feet are totally driving you crazy, you could take breaks and then come back into the toes curled under. And then lift up, arch just behind the back of the heart. Look up. Exhale, fold over. Inhaling, coming up. Pause. And then we're going to inhale again. Round, look up, arch behind the back of the heart. Round down behind the back of the heart. Core pulling into the spine. Head drops. And then inhale, back to neutral. Open the arms, cactus. Come back to all fours. Take out those feet. And we're going to prepare to come into downward dog. So lift the knees and send those hips back towards your feet and then high into the air. And then bend your knees a whole bunch. Look between your hands. Make sure that they are active. Spreading, clawing, gripping the mat. And then really pressing so you can get that spine long, get those hips as high as you can, and then drop the head. And very lastly, you could pedal up the feet or work towards straight legs, but it's not as important as all the stuff happening in the spine and pelvis. So breathe a few more breaths. You're gonna raise your right toes high to the sky. Breathe. Really focus on extending out those toes. And then come up on the ball of the back foot. Core engaged, knee into navel. Begin to shift forward. Step through. That step through is teensy bit challenging. Use blocks so you have more space to step that foot through. And from here, pivot your back toes at an angle, and then engage those legs. Engage your glute. Squeeze, lift into warrior one. Warrior one. Front thigh is slightly rolling out, so I can see my big toe. Back leg is strong, extending out. The back heel, side of the foot. And then pelvis, slight angle off here. It's not so important that you get your torso squared of your front leg, but more naturally to let it open a little to the side here. And then arms overhead. Keep breathing. One more deep breath in. And exhale the hands over the front foot. Back heel lifts, step, plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, knees lift, or baby cobra, no arms. Into plank. Exhale, press downward dog. Take some breaths here. Now we're gonna raise our left toes to the sky. And come up on the ball of the back foot. Knee and the navel. Step through between your hands. Drop the back heel foot at an angle. Engage the legs and squeeze. Lift into warrior one. Breathing. And then exhale over your front foot. Step through plank. You always have the knees lowered for plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale, pulling over the toes. Downward dog. Inhale, right toes to the sky. Knee and the navel step through between the hands. Back foot at an angle again, warrior one. Inhale. Now, clasp the hands behind the low back, the shoulders. Think about roll them down your back. And then begin to shift your torso forward. And either bring the wrists overhead, or you can bring your hands off at an angle off your mat. But don't put too much weight there. Try to keep your legs really active. And then inhale, squeeze, lift, warrior one. Exhale over your front foot. Push up, pause at the top. Exhale, lower, all the way down. Forearms out in front. Press down strongly. Pick one leg up, reach it back further. Other one, reach it back further. And then do little figure eights with the nose here. Just real gently. If you don't like that, just hold statically, breathing, focusing on broadening across your heart. And we do that by pressing down strongly through your forearms in a slight away action. And then come down, press under shoulders. Inhale, roll those shoulders up, lift up, upward dog. Everything lifts off for upward dog, knees, pelvis. And then pull through your core, round over those toes, send the hips high up and back, downward dog. Several breaths here. And then inhale, left toes to the sky. Knee and navel, exhale, step through between your hands. Turn the back foot out. Warrior one again on the left side. And then clasp the hands behind the low back. Shift forward the torso. And then bring the wrists up and over. Bring your hands off to the side of the mat. So you could lift off, take little breaks. And then inhale, lift up, squeeze, lift, inhale the arms overhead. And then exhale, rear front leg, step into plank, take a breath. Exhale, knees as wide as the mat, toes touch. Take a moment in child's pose, resting your head on the earth or block. And then inhale, come back forward onto all fours. Curl those toes under. Lift your knees. Send your hips back towards your heels. And then up high. And then we're going to send our right toes to the sky once again, this time opening the hip, boy dog. And then knee and the navel, step that right foot through. Back foot turns out. Praying for warrior two here. Cartwheel all your arms up and extend them out. Maybe lightly pick those shoulders up, lightly roll them down your back. And then you're gonna want shoulders under hips. So maybe sway side to side and decide if you can determine where that's at. Look out your middle finger. Keep breathing, and then reach your back hand down your back leg, and front hand comes up. Reverse your warrior. Lean back, reach back. Maybe look up. And then inhale. Come back through warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Reach. Try to reach out over it. A little bend in your front leg. And then you can't come forward anymore, right? Place your hand on a block, your shin, the earth. And then from here, we roll open through the heart. Maybe take your hand to your heart. Encourage this twisting open of the upper back. And then the hands maybe go to the sky. Maybe look up. Your balance is all right. If your neck says that's okay. And keep that top hand active like you're pressing it into a wall. Now help keep this top shoulder rolling back. And then bend that front knee. Both hand comes around. Back heel lifts. And then we're gonna step to the front of our mat. Knees bend a whole bunch. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, get a little rag doll here. Drop the head. Resting the torso on the thighs. Hands to hips, knees bent. Come on up to standing. Inhale, fingertips to the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway look up. Plant that left foot. Send the right foot back. Open the foot to an angle. And then squeeze. Come on up. Send those shoulders back. Warrior two on the left side. Left foot in front. And we are shoulders under hips. Coming down to what we can. And looking nostalgically over our middle finger. Pretending it's all good. We're breathing, right? We're breathing. And then back hand down the back leg. Arch. Reach that left hand up and over. First warrior. Try not to come out of our lunge, but staying deep. And then inhale. Come up. Straighten the front leg. Reach out, out, out. Over your front leg. A little bend in that front knee. And then it comes to the shin. Block the earth. Right hand encourages us rolling open through the heart. Raise that right hand up. Maybe look up. Keep breathing. And then right hand comes down around, both hands around your front foot now, left foot. Drop that right knee. Press your left heel into the earth. Send that left hip back. Inhale, halfway look up. Pulling that torso forward. Exhale, rounding, letting the head drop. You can have blocks on either side of the foot here to help stabilize, balance. And then inhale, shift forward, lift the back knee, pivot to the long edge of your mat. It's pointing to the long edge of your mat. You can have blocks here as well. Inhale, pulling that, pulling my, trying to come forward here. And then I can't come forward anymore, then I'll drop the head, forward fold. If I feel inspired, I will clasp my hands behind my low back and bring the wrist up and overhead. Keep breathing. Now bring those hands down. Inhale, halfway look up. And turn to the back of your mat now. Let that back knee come down. Press to your right heel to encourage a strong, sending that right hip back strongly and squarely. And that can keep a little micro bend in your front knee. You could use blocks on either side here so you can focus on keeping a nice length in the spine instead of just crunching into the low back. Really come forward and just stay here. If you're already feeling lit up in the hamstrings, then you work it here with the blocks. Breathing. And inhale, shift forward. Place your left hand down towards, it's under my shoulder. And then kick your back foot in, and then either reach for the foot or lasso the foot create a little engagement and draw it into your bum. And breathe. And you can come on the outside edge of the front foot if it's hard to keep it turned in all the way. Your sole's all the way on the, or maybe you do a little bit of both. See the difference. Maybe they both offer a little something different. And then release the back leg. Pick the back knee up. We're gonna pivot, walk through center. And then from here, take your hands to your hips, bend in the knees, and come all the way up. Turn those heels in. Have to get a little goddess pose in. Bring your hands to heart center. And let's just breathe here. Maybe sway a little side to side or focus on squeezing the legs in the bum on the inhale. And then exhale, pressing away, letting a little release, the sinking action. You get the hands into it. Exhale. Squeeze, lift, inhale. Exhale. And then hands to hips. Straighten your legs. Point the toes back towards the long edge. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, wave, look up. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, wave. Look up. Exhale, fold. Last time. Pause in your forward fold. Breathe. Remember to use blocks. If it's overly sensational and you can't breathe, just grab a pair of blocks, help yourself out. And then turn front of your mat. Lower the right knee. Right hand about towards the edge of the mat. Kick the back foot in. Reach around. Kick a little resistance. And breathe into the thigh stretch. Experimenting with having the sole of the foot all the way on the earth and then kind of come into the outside edge of your foot. Just gently. And you don't have to if it don't like it. You just hold statically. Breathe. And then release your back foot. And step those knees back. Widen them as wide as the mat. Toes touch. Press your hips back. Child's pose. 3 deep breaths here. And then look forward. Shift onto all fours. And then curl your toes under. Come back onto your heels. And back into yogi squat. If that doesn't work for you, you can come up to standing. And squat down. And maybe put a block here if you can't comfortably come down, or if your heels are way lifted, like a rolled up towel or something, and that'll help you. And then get in here and knees press into the legs, and same thing, they're kind of like resisting each other, which helps me lift up because I want to just curl in like a but to lift up, stay bright across the chest. Breathe in our yogi squat. And then I'm gonna come forward even more. This time kind of rounding in, maybe bringing the feet together, sort of preparing for our crow pose here. So you could kind of stop along any of these points and then push those hands back. Drop the head. You can kind of keep crawling them back. Work yourself. See how far you can work yourself into a little ball here. Breathing. And then bring your hands out now in front of you. We're going to prepare for our crow pose. Lift up on your toes. And then maybe come forward, core engaged. Now, rounding behind the back of the heart. Maybe lift one, both legs. Breathing. And you can give that a try a couple times if you want. If you want to try it from a little bit higher, a little bit more challenging, come to the back of the armpits. I'm trying to stay higher here. I'm all sweaty, so I don't know if this is gonna work. But just play with it, have fun with it. And yeah, and I guess it's just that fear of falling on your face, right? But luckily the ground's not that far. Okay, all right, all fours. We're gonna bring our right wrist behind our knee, behind our right wrist. Scooch it back for pigeon pose. You can pad the knee if it's sensitive. If you're feeling you're riding real high, you're like, this is very terrible, put a block right here and then ease. Let that hip ease down from there. Inhale. Let's do a little back bend. Oh, lift up, look up, slight arch back. And then if you want to fall forward, do it. Breathe. And be here for several rounds of breath. If you don't feel anything and you want to make it more challenging, you can bring this front foot, flex strongly, and let it come off at more of an angle, like more of a, not angle, but more at a 90. But that's only if you weren't feeling anything in the other pose. And from here, inhale, rise, look up, and exhale, come up to the side. Bring that back leg all the way around, hook across your right thigh, and take a moment to sit evenly on your sitting bones. Get nice and tall on your spine. And then left hand behind you. Inhale, send those right fingers, really reach. And then exhale. Curl in, hook, reach straight in, look over the left shoulder, just clasp the knee. Or go for the bind. I don't know if this is the bind, but grab the foot. There's a few different ways to wherever you are, Focus on inhaling length. And exhale, imagine just a slight twist, no forcing. Just to give you something to think about. Breathing in, length. Exhale, twist. And then turn your head back. And then the rest of you. And we're gonna, so our left foot's gonna turn in now. Send that right leg back. So now we're coming in a pigeon with the left leg in front. Don't like that. That didn't work for you. Come to all fours. Left knee behind left wrist. And then and scooch the back leg back. Foot is in at an angle here. And then I can lift up if I want to, engaging those legs and sticking a block under this left hip if I'm already riding really high and it doesn't feel relaxing at all and just this tension. You want to give yourself a little relief so that you could just breathe there, and then we don't feel that anymore, and maybe you sink a little more and breathe there. And it just all happens over time. So be patient with yourself. Or if you're like, oh, I don't feel anything here, then you can bring that front leg out. Keep the foot flexed strongly. Inhale, grow, arch, look up. And then exhale, come forward if you want. And breathe. And then inhale, lift up, and then exhale, and fall to the left side. Bring that back leg all the way around and hook it just above your left knee. Take a moment to get even and get tall. Right hand behind you, left hand reaches, and then we core engaged, come forward, hook, we straighten, twist, look over the right shoulder. Or you can just clasp. You can reach for that foot. And then turn your head back, and the rest of you come undone. Extend those legs long. Maybe move the butt flush so you could sit evenly on the sitting bones. Press out the balls of your feet. And then maybe point, flex, or point, flex, my bad. Point, 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 flex. Point, point, point. Strongly as you can, really work it. A few more times. And then paw that flexed. Bend your knees. Come forward. So resting torso on your thighs. Grab your feet. And then straighten the legs as long as you can maintain contact with your torso and your thighs. And then come forward. I can't get any longer. Nice long low back here. And then from here I'll go ahead and drop the head and breathe up and down the spine. And now look forward. We're engaged. Come back to seated. And this time we're going to draw the soles and the feet together. Press them strongly into one another. Lift. Hands and fingertips behind you. Lift up through the heart. And bring those hands back forward. Maybe open your feet like a book. And come forward as much as you like, or just stay breathing tall. Keeping the legs active by the pressing of the feet and a slight drawing in sensation. Inhale, lift up, and bring your feet out in front of you a little bit more. Open them about 2 fists worth. Karate chop the knife edge of your foot into the ground. And then the same kind of pressing down so strongly, drawing with just my foot, it's causing that drawing in sensation. And that's activating my hamstrings. So now I'll go ahead and just round over. Breathe. Try to keep the legs active. And look up, come on up. Close the knees. We're gonna lay back down onto our backs now. Prepare for a little bridge. So, yeah, you want your fingertips about towards your heels and lightly roll each shoulder under you. Back of the head, relaxing, chin lifting, or neutral. You want to be tucking in. And then grab the outside edges of your mat. Maybe roll the shoulders under once more. Press the hips up. And then like you're tearing the mat apart, create the lift through the chest. And then maybe clasp the wrists under the bum. Maybe roll the shoulders under even more. Press down strongly through the forearms and the feet. Press away. Maybe lift the toes and that same like you're gonna kick yourself in the bum action. Light up those hamstrings, the back of your legs. Engage your booty. And then lower the toes. Try to keep everything engaged. And release the hands. Roll down gently. Extend your left leg out along the earth. Draw your right knee to your right armpit. Pause. Take a breath. And draw the knee to your other armpit and pause. Hook your toes in the knee crease. Continue to draw that knee across the body. Your right hand reaches out. Look to the right. Just relax into the twist. Come back through center. Take a moment to find evenness. Then extend your right leg long along the earth and draw your left knee in. Pausing and taking a breath. And draw that knee to your right armpit and pause for a moment. And hook the toes in the knee crease. Draw the knee all the way across the body. Reach, look to the left, and relax into this twist. Coming back through center. Draw the knees in now. Grab the outside edges of the feet. Draw the knees towards the outside of the torso. Happy baby. Rolling around if it feels good to you, and not if it doesn't. With the focus being on the whole back and head pressing down, releasing into the earth. And then hugging yourself into a ball, holding your breath, squeezing your muscles tight. And then letting it all go, releasing out into Shavasana. Final resting pose. And taking time to arrive. Lightly roll the shoulders under, palms turn up, feet turn out. Feel free to take any kind of variation that will bring you more comfort and ease. You want to bolster under your knees or knees knocked in. However you decide, please stay in your Shavasana shape. And breathe into any sensations that come up, and I will hold space and guide you out in a few. If you'd like to come out, make small movement back to your fingers and toes, or just stay in Shavasana as long as you feel called. And roll to your right side, take a breath in. And when you're ready, use your hands to push yourself back to a seated position. And pause once more. Just take in how you feel. Any changes from the beginning of class and now. Just notice in a non-judgmental way. Thank you so much for practicing with me. The light within me sees and recognizes the light within you. Take care.